who I am. So I'm Zakia. I typically am live streaming soap making, mompreneur kind of life situation. My coach Tawana, very good to see, like literally virtually see you on screen. I saw your posting and I hope that you are doing well. Health and healing is in the prayers for you, and I'm sending it virtually all the way across the country to you. Hello, Montana. Very good to see you. So we're in my kitchen. This is the edible kitchen. I've been going back and forth between the soap making kitchen and the edible kitchen. Now, I do see that you are very welcome. You are very, very welcome. I am able to see your comments over there, so I may not need to pull you up on my phone. But we are broadcasting on Facebook. We are broadcasting on Twitter. We are broadcasting on YouTube. I didn't hit up LinkedIn because they don't really care so much about what I'm making in the kitchen. I am being attacked by fruit flies because we let some grapes go bad. So if you see one of those little things coming over, know that's what it is. And if you have a remedy aside from just constantly doing that, let me know. Hello, Miss Brenda. Very good to see you as well. So it's been a while. I'm trying to get back in a routine, but like many of you, life has completely shifted upside down. I used to be able to be the 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. mompreneur, but that is a 24/7 job at this point. Nyla is in a hybrid version of school, which means 3 days out of the week she is home. 2 days she goes in. That has completely stopped because the COVID numbers continue to do what they do. And Paige is 100% virtual, which means the teacher is teaching for about an hour and a half. But if you know Paige, if she's not interacting, she's not all that interested. So that means about 6 hours of my day is homeschool teacher. And then we still have business. We have several businesses to run, mom life and all of that. So live streaming had to take a back seat while I tried to figure out the new normal, or the normal. I hate to call it the new normal. It's just what it is, right? So one thing that has helped me with the new normal is my Instant Pot. I have gotten so many kitchen gadgets. It is amazing. But the Instant Pot is the newest and the most exciting of them all. If you have an Instant Pot, please do let me know. And if the signal is messing up, let me know as well. Yes, they do. So these are magical toys, in case you are wondering. The one that I have is the Duo Evo Plus. Now, the Duo Evo Plus, the one deciding factor for me to get this particular one was that I could make yogurt. Now, how often do I eat yogurt? Once every 2 weeks. How often do I make yogurt? Never. But just the ability to be able to do it, so that's the one I'm getting. There's so many different ones. Love my Instant Pot. Better than the air fryer? No. Okay, so here's the thing. There is an Instant Pot that has an air fryer on the top, but I didn't want to let my Ninja Foodie grill kind of go by the wayside. So I kept that one and I did not use the other one. Hey, Roslyn, good morning. But no, different purposes. The Instant Pot is good for stews. It's good for making meats really, really tender. We can do great rice in here. Haven't done that yet because I don't make that much rice. I can steam my vegetables. We're going to saute. Yes, I said saute. We're going to saute our beef in here today. You can slow cook, so this replaces the crock pot, which means I can use more crock pots for lotion making, for soap making, and only use the food version in the Instant Pot. I'll have to check mine. Good morning, Angel. Good to see you. So you guys are hearing that pop, pop, pop. That means that somebody is commenting. So if you're like, what is that sound? That's an audible cue for me to know that somebody has left a comment. If you have not already typed in hello or where you are from, now would be a great time to do that so I can say hi and get back into the swing of live streaming. There's something else called sous vide. Sous vide. I'm probably saying it all wrong. It's definitely French. And the only kind of French I don't like is when you're working in a group project, but you're the only one doing it, but somehow everybody starts speaking French and saying oui. That's the only kind of French I don't like. But there's a sous vide setting on here, and sous vide means that there's going to do something with the meat. It's a very technical term. And then the selling point for me was the yogurt. You can also make yogurt in here, which we will try later this week. So instead of going out and buying them, you can make them fresh. You just need your own Greek yogurt to start with the cultures that are in there, and you're like good to go. And lastly, you can bake a cake. I'm going to make a cheesecake in this thing. So there's a lot that you can do, and of course pressure cooking. So this is not my recipe. This is just a combination of recipes that I found where I kind of felt like this is what we want to do. Okay, so we are going to, forgot that I'm in Southern California. Yum. Happy to hang. Boston. Hello, Real Kitchen Diva. Now, that's the Real Kitchen Diva that you want to watch. If you want to really know how to cook, watch somebody who has cooking or kitchen in their name, because they probably know what they're doing. Me, we put it together, we throw it in the pot, and we figure out what we figure out as we go along. Yo! Girl, cook that stew. Let me pull it up there. Hello from Florida. Very good to see you. There we go. Let's bring some of you on camera with me. All right. So now that you all have said hello, or many of you have said hello, thank you for participating. Let's take this top off. I always get that wrong. So the Instant Pot, this is what seals it in. But like I said, we're going to start with the sear. And to start with the sear, now, I went to the market yesterday because I was only going for beef broth. I ended up walking out of that market spending about $150. The beef, I had marinated it, not intentionally. It was just that I was too tired to make it when I came home. So that became our morning dish. So we have our beef. This is about a pound of beef because my kids probably won't eat it. But this has been marinated with all kinds of seasonings in there. I said the recipe, so let's give you the recipe. Definitely some seasoning salt. Definitely garlic powder, onion powder. There's some steak seasoning on here just because I like the flavor of it. Salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, Cajun pepper is on here, or Cajun seasoning as well, because I like it to have a little bit of a kick. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a little bit of oil so that we can saute it up just a little bit. So right now it's in off. So we're going to put it on saute. So you simply press saute. It'll automatically put like a time on there. You can adjust the time right here, but we're going to turn it off when we're done. So I'm going to turn that back down to 30 and click start. So that's going to warm up. And it's beeping to let me know, hey ma'am, this is now hot. Hot. All right. And now we're going to put a little bit of vegetable oil. You can put any kind of oil that you want in the bottom. You just want to coat the bottom of the pan so that we are able to sear it. Now, I knew nothing about searing until I became a cook at home. And all of the people who said, you will never, ever, ever, ever get me barefoot in the kitchen. I'm going to tell you why. I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see them. I got a cramp. I'm wearing Crocs. You can't see them, but that's what's happening. But I am cooking a whole lot more because I just don't like the fast food as much anymore. Like, I knew every fast food restaurant within a 5-mile radius is just not the same anymore. It's like, okay, I cave, I give, and cooking is actually kind of fun and therapeutic. Similar to soap making, if you're not live streaming about it as you're doing it. So I'm going to get a little bit of flour so that we can coat our meat. Now, of course, make sure your hands are clean. And we're going to do that while we're waiting for our Instant Pot. And this is one pot cooking. I'm not going to use any other pots. I'm going to get it all done in here. Now I have already cut up my, where were these? The onions and the celery. So I'm going to put those at the bottom of the pan once this is heated, because we want a little bit of flavor going into our beef as well. So here's the onions. This was all done last night because I really thought that I was going to come back from the market, put everything away, and get to town. I didn't do any of that. So here is the celery and the onions that we're going to put in here once it's warmed up to help to season what we sear in terms of the beef. So what you want to do is you want to have your thawed out beef, and with your thawed out beef, you're going to season that. Season it however you like, with different seasonings. So again, I used seasoned salt, pepper. I think I put a little bit of thyme on here, chili powder, cayenne pepper, and I think there was a steak seasoning as well that I used. So with all of those, they have now marinated overnight. You don't have to marinate them overnight. That was just, I was too tired to cook it. So I'm just taking these because I don't want to crowd my pot so much. So I'm just going to put them on here because this is about the size of the inside of the pot. Now I do have to wash my hands because I don't want to stick my hand, because I use that flour right there. Oh, there's 30 of you on here. Welcome, everybody. What are you doing up so early watching me mess around with some beef stew in the kitchen? Look at that. I need to mop this floor. All right, good thing that's not on camera. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of the flour. I'm so used to seeing you make soaps. I thought you was making beef scented soap. Raphael, listen. Somebody would probably buy it too. They would say, Zakia. No, they wouldn't. Don't you ever buy anybody's beef flavored soap. There is a bacon flavored soap. Can you believe it? There is actually a bacon flavored soap. So I'm putting just a little bit of flour to coat these, right? You probably don't need all this. I'm probably being extra. This is something that came from YouTube University. Coat it. Some people say you don't need to coat it with flour to sear it, but that's what we're going to do. This has been preheated. Now it's saying it's cooking, so it's doing that countdown timer. So we're going to go ahead and put our onion and celery inside of the pot. Hear that sear? Got it? All right, where's our little... That's how you know you're an instant pot chef. And it immediately creates an aroma in the house, which is the best part. It's like, oh, so you cooking. This is like that scent. Nothing close to my grandma. My grandma's like, no, I do not make it in the instant pot. I do the traditional method, ma'am. But that's what it kind of feels like. It's that that home cooked feeling that we all want so well, right? Now I should have already, I'm doing this completely out of order. I should have already peeled the potatoes because we're also going to add some potatoes and some carrots to this as well. All right. Now, we could have just as easily put that in a bag, but that's not what we're doing. All right, so we're going to place our beef cubes into the Instant Pot just so they can get brown on all sides. And what that's going to do, supposedly, I'm not making any promises, what that's supposed to do is seal in the flavor so you don't just have some boiled beef for your beef stew, right? So when you bite into that beef, it's scrumptious. Tyrone, I don't know if you're in the area, but you should come by and test it later on today. It's going to take about an hour. I should have let you guys know that at the beginning. This takes about an hour to get done between the searing and all of that. It smells lovely. It looks beautiful. You guys can't see what's going on in my pot. I'll bring it over. Can you see that now? Oh! Instant pot. One pot wonder. Okay, I might have lost some of my oil. Might need to put a little more oil in there. All right, so we're going to put the rest of these beef cubes on here so that when these are done, we'll move right along to the next set. And we want to just sear all sides, which is pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to try this next set without putting the, no, we're just going to put the flour on. We're just going to put it on there. Don't be trying to change it up. And then that might also help with the thickening of the gravy. And I'm trying not to use 1,000,001 paper towels as we go. Invest in some tongs, guys. If you have an Instant Pot, get yourself some tongs because it helps you for digging in and turning your meat, grabbing your meat out, all of that. So now what we're going to do is just flip it around. Just like that. It has a beautiful brown color to it. And that's what we want. Searing it is just locking in those juices, so they say. And then I have my onions and my celery right in the middle of the pot. And we're going to let that sear for probably another minute or two, if I can turn it. I'm not that ambidextrous. Feel like I need a little more oil. All right, let's get some more flour. Whoa. This is the biggest container of flour ever. I had got a 10-pound bag from one of those big box stores. And I needed somewhere to put it because nobody was going to. That bag would have bust. All right. So there's our flour. We're going to coat all the sides. And once these are coated, we'll switch them out. And once we switch those out, then we will go about peeling our potatoes and cutting our carrots. I do have a secret. It's not really a secret. A time saver. Get the already peeled baby cut carrots. Save yourself some time. That's less carrots you have to cut. Potatoes, I don't know. I got nothing for you. You got to peel them. And I don't have one of those. I have every kitchen utensil, but I don't have the, what is that? The potato peeler. So, to Amazon she goes. All right. And then the black shirt ends up partially white. Good morning, Ann. How are you? All right, we're going to go ahead and take these out. I want that motto you have. I can't live without your Instant. Listen, Linda, this is a great one. All right, so we're going to just take those out. They're not completely seared. I'm just trying to do just a little bit so that the beef isn't going straight into the Instant Pot for the pressure cooking phase. And then I'm also going to take out our onions and our celery because I might be burning those. I'm definitely burning those. All right, so there is the beef that we have kind of sort of done some kind of searing to. I need a spoon. And I'm going to need a little more oil. So we're going to take that out because that's going to be a part of our seasoning, or what gives our beef stew some flavor. And our beef stock. And the amazing seasoning blend that we did. I probably shouldn't have put recipe on the title of this. There is no recipe. You add some seasoning to your beef to get it to taste the way you want. All right. Let me grab a little more oil, guys, because the bottom of that is a little empty. So that took 7 minutes. You want to know how I know? The pot tells me on the front that we're down to 23. We started at 30. So 7 minutes to sear, which is pretty good. Yep, just check mine. Makes yo, yes. Okay, we should make Miss Brenda, do you want to do a live stream with me? And I probably should wait for that to get a little bit hotter, but that's okay. We can do a instant pot, not a cook-off, because it's not really a competition. It's like, oh, you making that? How you do that, girl? We can do that. So yeah, so if you have any kind of I call them counter jewelry. That's what these appliances are, really. And they just make it a whole lot easier to get your meals done without having to bake for 3 hours or 4 hours. It typically takes about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 to 20 minutes for something that could traditionally take a long time to cook, because either the meats are very, very tough, or previously when we used a crock pot, you would put it in the oven, or you would put it in the crock pot, I would say at the start of the day, before you go off to work at 8 o'clock, and let it cook all day, and then you come home and it's done. Whereas this, I'll be able to eat this at 11 o'clock. About an hour. 9:24. Good morning, Sharice. Very good to virtually see you. All right. Let's get that one. And we got one more piece. And then we're going to move on to cutting these potatoes. And my aunt always tells me, Zakia, you have got to start washing dishes as you go. You're creating a monster for yourself by the time you're done, which is very true. I haven't quite listened. But we'll get there. Live cook with you. That would be fun. Scary for me. And I'm telling you, I have like an interview mode on here where I can bring you right on screen. You just got to click a link. And as long as your webcam is hooked up, we're golden. Living our life like it's golden. Living our life like it's golden. I would play my music, but you know how YouTube and Facebook are set up. I don't really understand them so much, because I'll be on some broadcasts where they're playing like whole tracks of CDs. I am horrible at peeling potatoes, guys. I'm telling you now. So if you're judging, this is the anti-judgment zone. As long as we get the skin off, there's no worry about how much potato is left from that peeling adventure. But this is where one of those potato peelers would come in handy. A lot of people get worried when I'm peeling potatoes, because it's like, Zakia, you got the knife coming right to you. But listen, Linda, I kind of sort of know when to let it go. Yeah, a live cook with me, that would be fun. Live cook with me, soap with me, all of that fun stuff. So how are all of you doing in this pandemic that I think is never ending? It's like the never ending story. How many of you remember that story? The never ending story. I used to love that as a kid. I used to live that one. Webcam, my iPhone. Yep, you can do it from your iPhone as well. Ooh, we should try. Well, once I get everything done, we can try it. Probably after this broadcast. Miss Brenda, how's the soaping and all that coming along? Are you guys still meeting? You're in California, right? I think you're in Cali. Yeah, you're in Cali. I'm going back to Cali. All right, I'm probably only going to do 2 potatoes. And before I burn my sear, I'm going to flip these. That sizzle is so calming. It's so calming. There's like that Salt Bay guy where he just drops the salt in. He has all this salt in his hand, and he's just like, put those seasoning on it. And I'm just flipping them so that they're browned on all sides. It's nothing all that exciting. But it's like searing it on a pot on the stove, but we're going to be able to then put the lid on this with a little bit of chicken broth. I do 2 cups of broth with 1 cup of water. We're going to put our potatoes in here, our carrots, our celery and onion, and we're going to let that slow cook or pressure cook for 40 minutes as soon as we get that done. Webcam, my phone. Oh, we're up to 40. Okay, we're 40 people watching. What are you doing, guys? What are you doing on this Sunday? Why are you being so quiet? Like, we're waiting for the recipe. You said recipe, but there's really no recipe. So there wasn't really a recipe. We used a little bit of beef. Yep. Kylie, I'm still soaping, mostly melt and pour at the moment. I'm doing a virtual soap making class. Now, I've always done, that's the interesting thing. Not because of COVID that I'm doing a virtual, but more people are asking for the soap making classes now that they need something to do. You get sick of the wine tasting. You get sick of the painting with the twist. Why not make soap at home? It's the best thing you can do in the middle of a pandemic. What do they say? Wash your hands with what? Soap and water. How do you make it? Ask the soap maker. It's Sunday. It's Saturday, Halloween. Oh, Halloween. I told a little fib because I am very, not nervous, but I am germaphobe right now. So I told a little story that Halloween was canceled, so I have to stay in the house today. Because if she sees trick-or-treaters, it's like, wait a minute, Mom. What do you mean? That's not true. Your secret is safe with me, guys. But in our house, Halloween has been canceled. All right, so we're going to cut our potatoes up. Probably not coming across because it's white on white. I'm going to get a black plate so you all are able to see when I have a white ingredient. I've been working a lot on stir fry because I can't get my hot pot. You guys know how much I love hot pot, but you can't sit in a restaurant and do hot pot. So I've been almost mastering my own hot pot at home. I do have a hot pot container coming, or a hot pot that I can use to make it in as well. And it's just a rough cut of these potatoes. Nothing. Bam. Bam. And Kylie, folks aren't going out, or at least not supposed to. Oh, okay, good. All right, so I didn't completely tell a story. Yeah, we have, I'm hearing, I don't know how true it is. I have to check a reliable source, but we had another person murdered by the police. So looks like we have martial law and curfew in Philadelphia right now. Which, on top of it being Halloween, on top of it being a pandemic, we're murdering people. Staying safe and doing a lot of cooking. I love to watch others cook almost as much as I like to cook. I am the hot pot queen. Oh my, I love hot pot. That is the one thing that I have completely missed because I can't completely get the flavors right. You know? So that's a bit of a concern. Well, I don't know why I'm not taking these out. I'm about to put them right back in. So now everything has been browned. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all of the beef back in. The beef, the celery. I'm even going to put a little bit of garlic, minced garlic in here. And some bay leaves. Okay. Alright, let's grab a bay leaf or 2. I am going to eyeball, or 3. So here's our bay leaf we're going to put in there. We're also going to get what I went to the market. Shake it up. Cops are trigger happy. All I heard was the guy had a, I know, Richard, it's terrible. It's really, really bad. Really bad. All right, so we're going to turn off saute. We don't need to saute it anymore. So we're going to cancel that. It's off. The next thing we're going to do is move to pressure cooking. Now for pressure cooking, we want potatoes in here. We want carrots in here. We want our meat. We want our veggies, which are just the onions and the celery. And then we're going to have our beef broth with some water. Stew for two. Well, this won't be for me because my kids won't eat this. They won't eat anything that seems like it could possibly be healthy. Or contribute to our quarantine 15. Remember in college they had the freshman 15? I had definitely grabbed onto the quarantine 15. But I loved it because I was extremely thin. So I'm pouring a little bit of this beef broth in here. Oh, it looks beautiful. And I will bring you all over so you can see it. Or I'll bring the pot. Well, no, you can't see it. I'll bring you over before we put the lid on it. Then we're going to put our potatoes in as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could add some cornstarch with water so you can thicken the gravy up. I'm going to wait until the end because this will be a little bit runny. I like my stew to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of cornstarch or 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with 2 tablespoons of water and mix it up, and I'll put that in at the end. Then I'm going to add our pre-cut carrots because I'm not standing here cutting no daggone carrots. And just about maybe a handful or 2. I'm just going to rinse them really quickly. Try not to drop them all in the sink. Satay. Yes, it's satay. All right, we're going to put our carrots in. And it just makes it look really pretty, too. And the carrots are very good. So this is a nice, wholesome Saturday lunch that we'll be able to eat. So just 2 handfuls. No cutting, no nothing. And they're ready to go. All right, now we're going to set this on pressure. Pressure. Now this one, it does give me different settings. We can do soup, bean, egg. You can make eggs in here. Do you hear me? Ribs, poultry. Oh, turn the water off. Ribs, poultry, chili, stew, beef, pork, seafood, broth, sterilized potato, or broccoli. And then there's settings in between. So if you choose rice, do you have white rice, quinoa, brown rice? There's different settings for every single thing. This has a total of 45 different settings on here. Beefy broth for Halloween golfs. Okay, creamy excellence. I am loving your satay. And then you also have satay, stew for 2. I am loving the bars that you are dropping in here right now. That's pretty cool. Thank you for joining us live. All right. So we have that. We've put our potatoes in. What am I missing, guys? Water. We're going to add just a cup of water to go with the 2 cups of beef broth that we put in. So where is my... Here is a measuring cup. This is a really big measuring cup. So far, Instant Pot does everything. Every single thing. That's a whole lot more than a cup. I'm going to eyeball it. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, if it's not enough, make it enough in my Smokey's mom voice. Okay. That's all we need, guys. I could wipe the top off. Let's do that. Even has an optional air fryer lid. I did not get that one. That's the Duo Plus. I can't swap it off on this one, but yes, it does have the air fryer. My head is cut off. It does have the air fryer lid on there, which is very cool. But this one, you can't do it. Can't swap it with this one. But I did. That one was a very hard choice for me when I first got this one, because I kept going back and forth. But I do have another appliance that I use for my air fryer or air frying. That is my Ninja Foodie Grill. All right, I'm going to bring you guys over. This looks absolutely amazing, okay? All right. Don't say I didn't want you. Oh, I don't know. Can you see inside that pot? Ignore the floors. The floors need to be done. But that's what the pot looks like. And now we are going to cook it for, I don't remember, 40 minutes. So we're going to put this on. Keep going. Beef. And then we press it in. And it automatically says, okay, if you're doing beef, you need 45 minutes. I'm going to press that in. And now it's on high. And now I need to put the lid on. Yes. All right, we're going to put the lid on. This lid is very important. It will not pressure cook if you do not have a lid on there. And it sings to you. So right now it's open. Now we're going to close it. And it lets you know that it is closed. You hear that? Let's sing again. Open. Close. Okay. And at the top of it, there's a seal and then there's a vent. So we want it to be in a sealed position so that it can start preheating. So I'm going to say start and it will preheat. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to preheat, if I'm being honest, because we have it on such a high temperature. But once it does, this seals and all of those juices, everything that we've seared with that beef, the seasoning that we've put on there, the coating that we've put on there, the carrots, the onions, the celery, potatoes, all of that is cooked and marinated together for 45 minutes under a very high temperature. So you come out with the most tender beef stew you can imagine. So that's what we have for you guys today. I am probably going to make myself a cup of coffee and I'll smell the aroma. You don't really smell the aroma of this while it's pressure cooking. But when you take the lid off at that 45 minutes, like that's the difference between a crock pot and the Instant Pot, I would say, is the Instant Pot, you don't really smell it aside from that searing. Remember we did the searing earlier. Is that enough? I hope so, Miss Sapphire and Steel. I think so. It was I don't want it covering it completely because that's going to take all of the flavor out. Typically you need 2 cups of water when you are pressure cooking. However, I did 2 cups of the beef broth and 1 cup of the water. So I'm hoping that the answer is yes. Hi from Miami. Very good to see you, Porgy Town. Let me come over here. Wrong way. Welcome to the broadcast. I said, welcome to the broadcast. All right, good to see you. So I hope you all have enjoyed this. I don't know, how long have we been? 37-minute broadcast on how I'm going to have some beef stew. And the beef stew is 100% homemade. We started out with some raw beef, of course, that was cut up. Once it was cut up, I seasoned it yesterday with all intents and purposes to make it yesterday. However, I went to the market to get beef raw and found myself shopping like there was no tomorrow. So by the time I came home, put everything away, it was like, yeah, I don't feel like doing that now. We'll do it tomorrow. So that's what we're doing now. And so it was marinating overnight in those seasonings. I used just your basic seasonings. I did add some steak seasoning on there, onion powder, garlic powder, seasoned salt, black pepper, cayenne pepper, Cajun pepper, because I like a little bit of spice. Then we cut up our onions and our celery. We put the oil, the beef, the onions, and the celery in here, seared it, and then we added to that our potatoes that we chopped and our carrots with a little bit of beef stock, 2 cups of beef stock, 1 cup of water, and now we are going to pressure cook it for 45 minutes. Once the pressure cooking is done, we'll have to vent it, and that venting probably takes about 10 minutes. So you don't ever just take the lid off once it's finished pressure cooking. That is I think 450 degrees, very high pressure. That steam would burn your face off. So you always allow it to vent first. Looks delicious for deep brown color. Add gravy master or browning burnt sugar. Look at it. This is why I cook live. Right there. Real Kitchen Diva. You see that? You get those kind of tips. I would never know about browning some sugar or some brown. I would never do any of that. So there's always somebody who is a pro that can say, oh, if you really want that good, you're going to do this, that, and the other. So thank you for that, Real Kitchen Diva. But it says for deep brown color, add gravy master or browning. Or are you saying brown some burnt sugar, a teaspoon or so? I do manually vent. If you guys are not connected with me on Facebook, I will manually vent it and I will put it in my story. I'll put it on the Live Soap School Instagram page or the Zakia Ringel Facebook page, my personal page on Facebook, so you can see when I vent it. So what Miss Brenda is saying is there's a manual option, or you allow it to just do its thing slowly over time. So this, if I were to push it down, there's a button, the steam just burst out. But they have improved, especially on this Duo Evo Plus, because this actually has handles on the side. Previously, they didn't have handles. So you would start stirring and stirring in your pot, and the pot would just be spinning around. Now, it stays stationary. But they also included, and you can kind of see some of the steam. You probably can't see the steam coming up. It's called browning. Got it. Thank you, Real Kitchen Diva. But they have it where all of the steam won't just come up in one spot. It kind of disperses it in various areas. But I will record it so you all can see the manual venting that we'll do. So we just now let this do its thing. It's almost at the preheating. It's at that third spot. And it's about to seal off in just a second. It's getting to the temperature. And then it'll just pop in. Boom. So no more venting will happen. Everything in this pot is at the right temperature. And now all of that pressure is cooking the meat and the veggies together so that we have the ultimate beef stew. So I'm Zakia. I will be taking your suggestion here for getting a darker gravy. I will be using some cornstarch and water combo to thicken up my gravy. And I will post a picture on wherever we are, if I can. Can't do it on Twitter because we're on Periscope. But we'll do it on Facebook, and I'll put it in my YouTube story. Great to see all of you. And if you have not already, like, subscribe, follow, share, thumbs up, heart, whatever platform you're watching on. Do that thing so they know that you have enjoyed this broadcast. I am Zakia Ringel, where it is so much more than soap. And we have some home-cooked beef stew that will be ready in 45 minutes. Bye, everybody. Do, do, do. Do, do, do.